So, what is Lu Jong and why would you want to teach it? I'm Farrah and you're watching Tibetan Healing Movement, where we explore ancient practices that make us happy and healthy today. Many of you know that I teach Lu Jong Tibetan yoga. I also train other people to teach this practice. So what is it? Lu Jong is a movement practice rooted in Tibetan medicine. It systematically releases blockages on the physical, energetic, and mental level. It does this by repeatedly applying and releasing pressure on particular points of the subtle body channels. So we're training our subtle body channels to be more open. Now, this is a big subject. Everything that I'm going to say in this video, we could delve much deeper into and would require its own video. But my goal here is just to give you a broad overview. So, we're training the subtle body channels to be more open, and this has profound benefits. On the physical level, we're balancing the body systems and the body constituents. We're nourishing the organs and all parts of the body so that they receive nutrients, blood, oxygen, and energy as fully as they did when we were younger, before we started acquiring all of these blocks. This also is a big boost for our energy, and emotionally, it also causes the mind to flow better, and it balances our negative emotions. So this practice was developed by Tulku Lobsang. Now, there are many movement practices in the Tibetan tradition, but he collected these movements and created this clear system. He is a doctor of Tibetan medicine, born and raised in Tibet, and trained in the monasteries. He's always been very interested in these movement practices. So he put together this clear system so that it was accessible and addressed the common issues that we have, particularly in these modern times. So there's many benefits to Lu Jong, and I could talk forever about each of them. But let's move on. Why would you want to teach it? Now, I have three main points here. The first is how accessible it is. It is accessible to people of all ages and all abilities. So elderly people, maybe people who aren't used to moving so much or have an injury or some physical limitation, they find benefit with Lu Jong. On the other end of the spectrum, people with really well-trained bodies, athletes, dancers, they also benefit from Lu Jong. We all need practices that release blockages in these points. Some of the points that become blocked are especially in the spine, in the joints, and in the pathways to the vital organs. So it's really important to open these blockages, and that's what Lu Jong focuses on, and we can all benefit from it. It's also very accessible because you can present it in several different ways. If you have a student or an audience that's very motivated by the medical aspects, you can definitely talk a lot about what's happening on the level of the physical body. How are the body systems affected? So then you talk about Tibetan medicine. But if you have a student who's more motivated with issues on the emotional or mental level, perhaps they're dealing with stress or burnout or have negative emotions that they want to reduce in their lives. This practice really cultivates calm and focus and clarity, and you can really approach it from that direction. And finally, it is indeed a spiritual practice. It comes from Tantrayana Buddhism. Any practice that cultivates openness of the body, the mind, and the heart is a spiritual practice, and there are profound benefits to opening the subtle body channels. So if there's someone who's already doing a spiritual practice, perhaps they're doing a seated Buddhist meditation, then Lu Jong is incredibly helpful as preparation for the body and the mind before your seated practice. It naturally creates a calm. So that's my first point. It's really accessible. You can present it in many different ways and make it as helpful as possible for your particular students. Second point, it's really systematic. I love this about Lu Jong. It's really systematic. Clear system, you can be confident, is covering your bases. We have so many choices in our lives. We have so many things to think about and make decisions on. I think it's quite relieving to have a practice where you don't have to think so much. In fact, you're not supposed to be thinking. You need to come into the awareness of the body. All you need to do is decide to do the practice, and then you do it. Okay, you know what comes next, and it's always the same. Now, some people might say, oh, that's boring. I want to always have it be different. Okay, maybe it's not for them. But I say that this regularity, this clear expectation works in your favor because your body more quickly, it's like a trigger that you enter this state of calm, energized. It's a calm, energized state. That's how I like to refer to it. So that's where we get to after practicing Lu Jong. And I feel that after you do it again and again, you kind of create these neural pathways and your body and your mind get there more quickly. And finally, there's a lot of opportunity for growth. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, although I do receive a lot of inquiries from people who want to know more about Lu Jong. But I suggest that you go to the international website. Check out lujong.org and see what's happening in Europe right now. Europe is much further along than us in terms of their development of teachers and the training program. I'm just getting started here in North America. There's just a handful of us, so we're several stages behind them. So looking towards how things have developed in Europe, you can really see what trajectory we're on. Each year when there's a certification in Europe, there's about 150 new teachers that are certified. And it's like the more people find out about it, the more interest there is. There's just, it really speaks to a lot of people. So there's definitely opportunities to teach this. And the more of us there are, the more we all help together to spread the word. So thank you so much for watching. In another video, I'm going to talk more about the details and the logistics of the certification program. And if you'd like to learn more, please visit my website, TibetanHealingMovement.com. I'm adding new content and new value there all the time, just getting it started. So come join me on my journey. And till our next video, much love to you, to your health and happiness.